Итак, всем привет, мы на канале RaiDe, меня зовут Сергей, и мы продолжаем проходить GreedFall. В предыдущей серии мы стали чемпионом арены, доложили Константину о том, что переговоры с Телемой и мостовым альянсом завершились. И сейчас мы идем выполнять квест по раскрытию нашего собственного прошлого. Ну и секретов нашего предыдущего там правителя нашей державы, нашего торгового содружества, торгового альянса. Так. Его личный квест попутно выполним.
You know that I recruited Raina. I want to know what kind of hornet's nest I led him into. I want to know what these madmen did. But I fear if I go alone, I might not be able to control myself. And I won't learn anything. I need the help of my best student.
How can I refuse such a request? Well then, let's go.
Так ты и был со мной. Так, ладно, пойдем. Продам я большую дубину, хоть она и гига крутая. Но сначала задание вот это выполним. Среди призраков и секрет князя. Вот он.
I've explored many ruins on this island, ruins that after careful scrutiny were built by the congregation. In one of them we found a journal that made reference to your guild. This document, as are the buildings, date much further back than the arrival of the Bridge Alliance a decade ago. These discoveries raise a good many questions, questions that my cousin would like you to answer.
I understand. All the same, we are in a difficult situation. We are bound by the pact. I could eventually overlook these engagements if you would perform a service. Commander Fernando, who holds the port of San Mateus, has problems with certain members of Teleme. But your friend here could without a doubt tell you more.
I believe I see what the Admiral is speaking about. Or rather, who. A few of our zealous brothers are overcome by their faith. You already witnessed it for yourself at San Mateus. They look with a wary eye at all those who do not swear faith to Teleme, and refuse to express their faith openly. It is possible they have decided to target the Nords. We will need to speak with those on Teleme lands. And of course, seek out the Bishop Domitius.
Solve these problems, and I will reconsider the validity of the pact. I will answer your questions.
То есть она согласна нарушить договор за подсосыч. Ладно. Подсосем ей. Но сначала тогда личный квест Курта. Потому что пиндюхать в телему, мне кажется, еще дольше, блин. Среди призраков. Куда надо пиздошить? Давай. Объясняй. Так. Отправиться с Куртом в лагерь призрачного полка. Отправимся, погнали. Конечно, это тут, это тут. А, я его тоже находил. И меня туда тоже не пускали вроде. Ну, пошли. Да, меня это к нему и выведет. Сейчас разберемся, Курт. Сейчас разберемся. Ты только не переживай. Сейчас за Райнерушку мы отомстим. Так. Ля, какой кастер, какой кастер. Не, дед очень живучий. Дед супер живучий. Жалко, ближнего оружия не использует. Но ладно, он кастует.
I was informed of your arrival by my sentinels, but I didn't think it would be you, Kurt.
Rolf, you're the leader of this camp.
Do you two know each other?
We train together. We haven't seen each other in a long time. A very long time.
The world of warriors is very small, Kurt. What brings you here, my old comrade? And who are these people with you? They're not one of us?
My name is RaiDe. I'm the legate of the merchant
В
congregation.
смысле, наш же тайный полк не знает своего эмиссара.
May the enlightened guide you.
These people sure are important. So, what are you doing here?
I've heard things about this place. About this very special camp.
And we wanted to see what it was all about with our own eyes.
That's very nice of you, but visitors aren't welcome in this camp.
Ну так приняли.
What goes on here is only the guards' business.
Does the same apply to me?
Listen, Kurt. I can give you and your friends some answers, but only because it's you. Anyway, knowing you as well as I do, I'm aware I'm not going to get rid of you that easily. So, what would you like to know?
Так, что вообще делает этот лагерь?
What is it you do here? And why is this place kept secret? Even from your comrades in the guard?
The natives have their magic, and we have to train elites to be able to face them. That's what we're doing here. Our role is sensitive, and our location obviously cannot be revealed to the whole island.
I see the reason for this kind of training. The Bridge Alliance would be particularly interested in soldiers like these. And yet I've never heard of this elite squadron.
We're still in the early stages of the program. We don't want to rush things. And our leaders demand secrecy. Orders are orders.
Спасибо, спасибо. Чихать мне на ваш лагерь. Давайте про этого Райнерушку. Так, как работает тогда ладно
This is a
лагерь?
huge camp for such a secret location. How is it organized?
The main building is reserved for officers and the wounded. The front and rear of the camp are dedicated to combat training. But most exercises take place outside.
Impressive. And how do you manage recruitment?
Only the best come here. Those who have combat experience. Once they arrive, they're separated into 2 squadrons, each led and trained by a lieutenant. But you already know all of this, Kurt. It must bring back memories.
Yes.
Что за
Tell us
методы?
about your training.
Говорят, жесткие.
It's a sensitive topic. Most exercises take place in the field to get the men used to it. The natives' knowledge of the environment gives them as much of an advantage as their magic. But if you want to know more, you should ask my lieutenant instructors.
Так, говорим про Райнерушку.
Actually, we found out about this camp while we were looking for someone.
A kid I recruited. Raina.
Oh, I didn't know he was one of yours. My condolences. I was told he died in an accident in the harbor.
Don't insult my intelligence, Rolf.
Since you're here, I guess there's no point in lying to you anymore. The accident occurred during a maneuver. It's regrettable, but these things happen, you know?
We've taken up enough of your time, Captain.
I agree, and I have things to do.
I'd like to question your lieutenant instructors, if you don't mind. To ask them about Raina.
You've become a real sap. Fine, but try not to disrupt the day's schedule too much. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, I couldn't contain my anger.
I noticed. Good thing you know this captain so well. I don't think he would have let us investigate otherwise.
I'm not sure it's a good thing, really.
Your aversion is clear. But is it him that you hate? Or what the camp represents, my son?
Rolf doesn't bring back good memories for me. But let's continue. I want to know what's going on here. Lieutenant!
Respectfully.
Так, она явно виновата. Что-то мне подсказывает.
Legate of the merchant congregation. He would like to ask you a few questions.
At your orders. I'm listening, sires.
Так,
How do the various squadrons in this camp differ from one another?
The recruits I train are intended to carry out more subtle actions.
Really? What kind?
I teach them how to blend into the background, understand customs, observe, and know when to strike.
That's strange. These skills are normally associated with assassins, rather than soldiers.
These skills are always useful, regardless of the enemy or the setting.
What kind of training do your men undergo?
I can't go into details, but they learn discipline and to outdo themselves.
You mean to blindly follow orders, even to their death?
But No, Captain. We also teach them to analyze situations, so that they know when to act to avoid risking their lives.
How did you become an instructor in this camp?
I have led numerous squadrons before, and I've trained hundreds of recruits on the continent. I worked with Captain Rolfe in the past, and when I arrived on the island, he recommended me for this position.
That's very impressive. And I expect that you're familiar with the natives' environment and magic.
Yes, of course.
О, 100%, давай.
Don't you think that someone this talented fits what we're looking for? You see, we need to find someone who can replace Kurt to oversee my cousin's security.
Your cousin is the governor of New Serene, I've heard. It's a prestigious position. I don't doubt my abilities, but an offer like this, made so suddenly, must have a price.
We can't hide anything from you.
We're trying to find out what happened to Raina, a recruit who trained here.
That name doesn't sound familiar. He must have been in the Shadow Squadron.
The other lieutenant's squadron.
Yes. I'm sorry. Haven't been much use to you. Did something happen to him?
Ладно, она не виновата.
His body was thrown into the harbor to make it look like he drowned.
I guess it was one of your recruits. My condolences, Captain.
We'll question some of your soldiers.
At your orders, but please be quick. I'd like to get on with training.
Так, пошли. Блин, я забыл.
Hello, soldier.
Captain?
We need information. Your instructor authorized us to question you.
Of course, sire. I'm listening.
How would you describe your training? Do you train outside the camp much?
Yes, we do. Well, not exclusively.
Really? Yet we've been told that your unit specialized in actions over difficult terrain.
Yes, I think so. Well, yes, that's true.
Problems remembering things, soldier?
No, Captain.
What's it like in your squadron?
Very good. The Phantom Squadron is made up only of the very best.
Do you trust your comrades?
We're like 5 fingers on one hand, sire. I would trust them with my life.
You've sure got the military.
Не знаю, доверяют ли пальцы друг другу.
We've learned that a recruit died in an accident during a maneuver. Does this happen often?
No, of course not. Only to those who aren't strong enough.
That's strange. I was told that this recruit was very talented.
I don't know what to tell you. It's possible. If you don't mind, I'd like to get back to my training.
He seems afraid that an accident might befall him too.
No, it's not that. I just don't want to fall behind schedule.
Very well. Go on.
Excellence. Captain.
These kids are scared to death.
Yes. This boy's answers about his training seem pretty dubious to me.
You can't hide the lies. Soldier!
Captain!
At ease, soldier.
We'd like to learn more about your training.
I have nothing to say about it, sir.
Really? Go on, it's not a difficult question. What do you do during training?
Is this a test, Captain?
No, it's not a test. You may speak freely.
Well, training is difficult, but we can't complain, Captain.
That's an interesting way to phrase it. You're very united in this squadron. At least, that's what I've been told.
United. You could say that, yes. Until death.
That's rather sinister. Does the name Raina sound familiar to you?
Этот что-то знает, малютка, явно.
No, not really.
You seem rather hesitant. Afraid of being reprimanded by your lieutenant?
No. Well, not at all. It's just that I can't tell you anything about Recruit Raina. And we're lucky to have the lieutenant as our instructor, Captain.
We should leave this soldier to his work.
Your name, soldier?
Wilhelm. First class recruit Wilhelm, Spectre Squadron.
Keep it up, Wilhelm.
This recruit, Wilhelm, in spite of himself, led on more than the others.
His resentment is clear, but he won't divulge anything as long as his instructors are nearby.
Давай уведем ее.
May I continue exercising my recruits, Captain?
We haven't finished yet, Lieutenant. Lieutenant,
Captain.
my friend here would like to learn more about this camp.
At your orders, Captain. Sir?
Can you tell us about your squadron?
The recruits who come here are the best. And in my squadron, they get even better. I don't know what else to tell you. They're disciplined, rigorous, and effective. Exactly what you'd expect from the best soldiers.
What kind of training takes place in your ranks?
Combat in natural settings. Combat against the savages' magic.
I'm very curious about how you train against the magic the natives use.
Now these are complex, secret maneuvers. I'm very sorry, but I can't tell you anymore.
Очень понятно.
That's a pity. It would
Ну
definitely
да,
be
да, да.
instructive.
I heard the recruit RaiDe trained here. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, he was a good one. He died a little while ago.
So we've heard. Your captain told us he died during a maneuver. Can you tell us more?
The training we do outside can be dangerous. Unfortunately, Rainer fell to his death in a ravine.
Гон.
He fell.
Он от
During a simulated
побоев умер.
ambush. I know, it's not glorious, but it happens. I'd like to get back to work now, if you'll allow it, Captain.
Go on. We're gonna go talk to some of your recruits.
Это даже не вопрос.
It won't take too
Это
long.
констатация
We're
факта.
all very busy here.
We'll be quick, Lieutenant.
The story about training against magic is a lie. This lieutenant has no idea what he's talking about.
So what could they be training recruits for here then?
I don't know. But... Soldier!
Yes, Captain.
At ease. We have some questions for you.
Me? At your orders, Captain.
You look exhausted. Is training that rough here?
Well, it's difficult at first, but you get through it. Taming fatigue. That's the key to it all.
Haven't you ever wanted to stop? You've never doubted your vocation.
I'm not a coward, nor a weakling. The strength of the shadow.
What is that? Your motto?
Our squadrons, Captain.
You seem concerned about your comrades. You keep looking at them.
No, not at all.
Are you afraid of what they might think of you?
Absolutely not, Captain. We are all of one mind in this squadron. We are very united.
Since this is such a close-knit squadron, you must have known Rainer.
Yes, of course. But he's not part of the squadron any longer. He left.
Really?
I don't know what you're trying to get me to say, Captain. Rainer left the squadron because he was sent on a mission. There's nothing more to say.
Sorry, mate, but that's not what happened.
I don't know anything more.
Thank you. That will be all.
Понятно.
Thank you, sire. Captain?
Возможно, тут у них задача друг друга махать, чтобы остался один. Фиг-то.
Captain?
Could you give us a few minutes and take us around the site? I've never been here before, and I'm curious to see what goes on.
I'm not sure if we can, Captain.
We are on duty, Captain.
Right, Lieutenant. Let's go. Are you coming with us?
No.
Нет?
I'd rather stay here. Take in some fresh air.
As you like. In that case, see you later.
О, он увел их. Шикарно. Давай, Вильгельм. Сейчас этот Вильгельм, как его там зовут, мне все расскажет, сынок. И всех мы убьем, и его защитим. Давай.
We need to talk. And don't worry. Kurt will make sure your superior doesn't come this way.
Why are you doing this?
We didn't think you'd say anything as long as she was here.
If you noticed, others will have too. They'll make me pay.
Even more reason to talk. If we had proof, we can take action and close this camp.
Very well. What would you like to know?
Что на самом деле?
We know that Rainer didn't die in an accident.
This is supposed to be a training camp for the Guard's elite. Only the most talented recruits are allowed to join. This is an immense honor.
А потом защику накидывают и выбрасывают.
But in reality, it's just hell.
Tell me about the training you undergo here.
Пиздят.
It's more torture than anything else. We're constantly beaten and humiliated, and the slightest complaint only leads to more blows. They even push us to police one another, so we don't dare talk. Whatever the orders, we put our heads down, grit our teeth, and obey.
It reminds me of the Ordo Luminis' interrogation methods. The poor buggers end up admitting to anything at all, accepting the unacceptable.
I heard them tell you about the specialist training against the natives in hostile environments. But what they teach us would be more useful for assassins.
As for RaiDe, do you know what happened to him?
Yes. One day he just couldn't stand it any longer. He disobeyed orders, he fought back, and people got hurt. That's when things blew up. They summoned him for night training.
What does that entail?
It doesn't have much to do with real training. They call us up for it at the last minute. The weakest serve as punching bags for the others, who are encouraged to beat them. If we refuse, we too become the targets. So
Понятно.
and strike. If you're looking to punish Rainer's murderer, you can start with me. We all have his blood on our hands.
Thank you for telling us all of this. You should get back to your comrades.
I hope you can do something. Have this camp closed. Otherwise, I'll soon be as dead as Rainer.
We understand the risk you've taken. We won't let you down.
Thank you. Really. That was truly fascinating.
Давай их и забьем
I've
вместе
seen
толпой.
everything I needed to see. You can leave us.
Yes, Captain.
Почему нет таких выборов? Если бы я играл в Baldur's Gate или в New Vegas, я бы мог просто всем сказать: давайте этих чуваков отпиздим до смерти, всех забьем их здесь, и будет отлично вообще. И мне бы ни капли совесть не мучила. Мне было бы замечательно. Что мне теперь делать? Сделать вид, что покидаете лагерь. Я покидаю лагерь.
Willem has spoken.
What did he tell you?
He said the recruits go through hell. They're humiliated, spy on each other, get bullied.
Блин, я бы про работу свою то же самое сказал. Чтобы меня вытащили оттуда и денег дали.
He rebelled and was summoned for night training.
Are you sure he used that term?
Yes. But he told me it's not really training. The recruits are summoned.
And the others beat them. Sometimes to death. I know.
You knew about this kind of training?
Yeah. I thought it was a thing of the past. What a monster. How dare he?
I'm so sorry. I'm lost for words. Tell me, did you learn anything new?
I scouted out the site. There's two parts of the barracks we should look at more closely. Rolf's quarters and the basement, which they refuse to open for me.
These people's methods are despicable, but we can't just charge into the fray.
Блин, вот это просто Петрус, просто не знаю. Он шикарен.
Let's wait for nightfall.
Классный
Sneak into the
персонаж.
camp unseen, search the barracks, the private quarters, and then the basement.
We might also try to find out where this night training takes place.
Yes. I wouldn't want other young recruits to lose their lives tonight. Especially Wilhelm.
Да. Пошли. Я соглы. Я соглы.
Let's find Rolf's office. He surely has the key to the basement.
Я для атмосферности крадусь. Я понимаю, что, скорее всего, здесь никого нет. Вот это, кстати, странно, что никого нет. Письмо от генерала. Благодарю за проделанную работу. Вы прекрасно справляетесь. Некоторые из ваших призрачных новобранцев уже заняли позиции в непосредственном окружении наместников, как мы и планировали. Майор Герман сообщает о потерях, но они не повлияют на наши планы. Продолжайте в том же духе, и мы скоро придем к делу.
It confirms that several deaths have been disguised in order to keep this camp secret. But it says that the recruits trained here have been assigned to governors from different cities. And yet I'm sure that Constantine knows nothing about these elite units. The conclusion of the letter also confirms that the
Генерал, возможно, хочет здесь военную хунту сделать и убить всех наместников и стать самым главным.
So it seems, including about the deaths.
He's gone too far. He dishonors us all. Sieglinder was right.
Письмо от майора Германа. Вы были и остаетесь одним из лучших моих учеников. Ваши новобранцы прибыли в Сан-Матеос и полностью оправдали наши ожидания. Я сообщил генералу о ваших достижениях в призрачном лагере. Уверен, он не оставит вас без награды. Если те ваши солдаты, что находятся в других городах, также хорошо подготовлены, скоро вы станете майором. А вот Курт уже в майорских шмотках ходит. Курт уже в майорских шмотках. Так, ладно, пошли в пыточную. Я не понимаю, куда делись все. Возможно, фигарят Вильгельма ногами за то, что нам рассказал, но он выигрывает нам время. Он выигрывает нам время. Ты пыточная, вперед. Ну, видно, для чего она.
Would surely envy such a place if they knew it existed.
Рапорт командира, капитан. Согласно приказу, мы провели подготовку новобранцев. Некоторых из них плохо переносили недосыпание, поэтому их отправили в черную комнату в целях тренировки. Мы потеряли одного солдата, но остальным это пошло на пользу. Они вышли немного ослабшими, зато дисциплина значительно улучшилась.
RaiDe shows up on this list more than once. He gave them a lot of problems.
Those who resist too much are lynched during night training. Rolf, you'll pay for this.
На кукан его.
Wilhelm's name was added to tonight's training.
These monsters want to make him pay for the help he gave us. The poor child will probably not survive.
Ну, кого-кого, святого отца мальчик волнует. Я его понимаю, ладно. Ну, не в том смысле понимаю. Это я не разделяю, но я понимаю прикол этой ситуации. Так. Пошли на ночную муштру.
They're just kids. There has to be a way to reason with them.
We'll do what we can. I can't promise anything more.
Слушай, я уже кого-то зафигарил. Я этого не хотел. Видит Бог. Всего один погиб. По моей неосторожности. Ну, я выскочил, тут никого не было, а тут внезапно все сразу. Ну, что я мог поделать? Ну, одного убили. Ну ладно, значит не такой, что он был сильный. Сейчас впряжемся за Вильгельма. Оба-на, сынки. А мы убедим его отмахать.
I won't repeat myself, recruits. Execute these traitors.
Soldiers, listen to your captain. You are the victims of these monsters, and we are here to save you. We surrendered without resistance to avoid a fight and to spare your lives.
Well, what do you want us to do? We have orders, and we know what will happen to us if we don't obey.
Я эмиссар. Я даю другой приказ. Блин, 50%. Блин. Ну, блин.
Must I remind you what happened to RaiDe?
And however many others perished to fuel the ambitions of this camp's leader.
Is this what you were promised when you were recruited?
No. No. Honor and glory.
Повезло.
We've strayed far from all that. Let's surrender. Anything is better than dying here like dogs.
How dare you? You know what awaits you.
Shut up, you idiots. You're no longer in a position to threaten anyone.
You're finally here.
Sorry, Captain. The boy resisted longer than planned.
You were spared the shame of seeing how far your comrades have fallen.
What happened?
They surrendered, like the weaklings they are.
That should make the next night training sessions interesting.
What have you done with Wilhelm?
He received the punishment for traitors and insurgents, like RaiDe before him.
Это грустно.
I'm terribly sorry. We should have...
Не, пацаны, не хочу, гружусь.
Don't let your guilt blind you when the boy's murderers stand before you.
You're right. For Wilhelm! For Raina!
Recruits! Attack!
Не, пацаны, я так не хочу. Я хочу спасти пацана. Я хочу его спасти. Вперед. Гружусь сюда. Гружусь сюда, мы его спасем. Это не дело. Нечестно, я так не хочу. Чисто. Это не дело. Кто мог знать, что задание 2? Кто мог знать? Не факт, что мне второй раз прокнет убедить теперь вот этих, но, возможно, я апну левел, и если вдруг надо мной сжалятся небеса, и я... Нет, мы не убиваем никого, пацаны, мы уходим. Нет, Курт, убегаем. Мы не убиваем никого, Курт. Так не зря я чувствовал, что она виновата. Не зря. Задефаем Вилю. Нельзя его отдать. Этот нам помог. Я не хочу, чтобы он помер. И этот моментик мы переиграем.
Despite what Wilhelm told me, I wasn't expecting this. He's getting destroyed.
They'll kill him. We can't let them get away with it.
Да спустись ты, чудище!
Stop! We won't let you kill this boy like you killed RaiDe.
Soldiers! Do you realize what you're doing? Captain? But...
You shouldn't be here. This time, you won't get away with it. To arms!
When my master of arms was in the guard, he always repeated, fight with honor. What honor is there in lynching one of your own when he's defenseless? What honor is there in being forced to kill one another the moment one of you refuses to toe the line?
None. We followed orders. Nothing more. You've been manipulated. But it's not too late to refuse all of this, to act with honor. You're right, Captain. It's over, Lieutenant.
Вот так вот. Ее избейте, я бы сказал. Все, унижаем ее. На в лицо тебе. Помоечку отъехала. Сосать.
Will you be all right? I'm wounded, but I'll survive. Thanks to you. I'm eternally grateful.
Come, Wilhelm. We'll help you get home. We owe you that at least. I'm counting on you to bring him back to the camp in one piece. Yes, Captain. Well then, let's go. We can't let that vermin Rolf escape us.
Найдем. Но теперь, надеюсь, он убежал. Ну, скорее всего. То есть я, возможно, пожертвовал чем-то другим. Но я не против. Я не против. Я как бы тактически перезагрузился. Ну, тупо было его реально бросать. Он нам помог, а мы его бы кинули. Я просто, блин, на карте ни хера не было видно. Вот это думал, это одно задание. Оно было одно. Вот, оказывается, 2 точки было. Я этого не увидел. Я долбоеб. Если бы я это увидел, я бы и не грузился. Будем считать, что мы сначала пошли сюда, потому что я прочитал. А я не прочитал. Ну, мой косяк. Но круто, что разработчики это продумали. Очень круто, что они это реально продумали. Жалко было бы малютку. А я вот с этой стороны зайду. Закрыто. Я с этой стороны не зайду. Я вынужден идти в ловушку. И вот, скорее всего, моя 50% харизма сейчас не прокнет. Ладно, давай подеремся с ними. Может, мне опыта накапает. Все. Опыта дали? Мне за них опыта, что ли, не дали? Навыков, талантов. Нет, мне не дали характеристику. Ну что ж. Выбор у меня не так велик тогда. Все, могу бомбы вкачать. По идее, бомбы должны были появиться. Таланты. А, нет, вот она, харизма. Все, качаем харизму. Качаем ее. Навыки, да. Таланты. Все, мы вкачали харизму. Пришлось малюток за это, правда, подрюкать, но... Нет, шлем это какой-то кал. Не хочу его напяливать. Может, я его курту напялю? Ну-ка. Курт это шляпа, дерьмо полное, а он солдат. Ну да, дадим ему шляпу все-таки. Пусть будет полноценным солдатом. Да, убивать их было плохо, да, но это жертва за Вилю, типа, окей, так и быть, они на нас сами напали, плюс мне очень нужна сейчас харизма, я хочу посмотреть, что это мне даст, даст ли мне это что-то, там написано, что это увеличивает шансы, да, я надеюсь, тут будет теперь 75 хотя бы.
Have fun, soldiers. The traitors must die. Stop.
Он вообще понимает, что они нападают на дипломата.
I won't repeat myself, recruits. Execute these traitors.
Soldiers, listen to your captain. You are the victims of these monsters, and we are here to save you. We surrendered without resistance to avoid a fight. And to spare your lives.
Well, what do you want us to do? We have orders, and we know what will happen to us if we don't obey.
Enough! To arms! Attack!
Да, теперь тут 75%. Упомянуть о спасении Вильгельма.
It was nearly Wilhelm's turn tonight. It could have been any of you.
Lies! Only the weak fall. So we must prove that we aren't among them.
Nonsense. I've seen more combat than any of you, and I've seen hundreds of soldiers die. Weak or not. I've seen this kind of camp before, full of torture and sadistic officers. I thought it was a thing of the past, but I was wrong. So help me make sure this camp really is the last of them.
You're right, Captain.
Да, да.
Put down our weapons. This will never end.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. You've trained cowards. Their training wasn't finished, Captain, and the speeches were so convincing. Silence! Where is this second squadron? Should have been here a long time ago.
Все, они уже у выхода. Ждут поездки домой.
It would appear that your training methods aren't very effective.
Now that you no longer have lackeys to send after us, Rolf, you'll have to get your own hands dirty.
I've dreamt of shutting that big mouth of yours up for so long.
Все, ща отсосишь. Иди сюда, петушок. Ну как, заткнул? Проверяй, что с лицом. Какие же сынки. И это тренера, да это позор. Ладно, вот теперь вышло все более-менее, кроме тех, кого я там сам зарезал, но... На что поделать? К сожалению, ключ от подвала. Так, что в его подвале?
Will you be all right, Kurt?
Yes. Yes, I'll be fine. I'm just glad to know that this camp won't kill anyone else.
What about you, Wilhelm?
Thank you for saving my life. Without you...
Я знаю, что было бы, я видел. Я видел будущее. Альтернативное.
I've been in your shoes on other nights. You didn't have the choice.
While we wait for this camp to close for good, you'll be under Wilhelm's command. You'll soon receive your transfer orders.
At your orders, Captain. Glad it's you, Wilhelm.
You'll stay here for now. I'll send men I trust to come get you soon.
What do you want us to do?
I'll need backup if I really want to put an end to all of this. We must go see Major Sieglinder in New Serene. I need to tell her what was going on here.
Are you sure she wasn't involved?
Her? Never. She's old school. She already held the commander at a distance because she didn't like the direction the guard was headed. He would have sacked her, or worse, if she didn't have so much support within the guard. I should have listened to her.
There's no use brooding over the past. Let's go. We'll go and see her immediately.
Погнали. Еще блинкует автоматически, здорово.
Sieglinder, I need to talk to you.
What's the matter, Kurt?
We've just returned from a training camp. A secret camp, where elite soldiers are trained through terror, humiliation, and torture.
Don't tell me that.
Yes. One of my recruits died, and he wasn't the only one. It is designed to create a regiment of assassins.
I am sorry, Kurt. I knew something was wrong, but I never would have thought it'd go that far.
We put an end to it all. We had to. But Torsten allowed it, even encouraged it.
I told you that the commander's ambition would end up leading us astray from the ideals of the Guard, and that we would pay the price for it.
Yes. At the time, I told you you were exaggerating. That he had his reasons.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to speak out, Sieglinder. And reveal the commander's project to the
Правильно.
governor of the
Да
congregation.
вошли бы вместе,
If I was
Константину еще
closer to him
расскажем.
and his family as you are, I would have done so a long time ago.
I know. I feel so stupid for not having understood Torsten's scheme until now.
You've always been a loyal person, Kurt. And too many loyalties are sometimes hard to reconcile. But Torsten betrayed us all. I'm counting on you to make
Да.
him pay for it.
Ща малютку попустим.
He won't get away with it. Goodbye, Sieglinder.
Goodbye, Kurt. My men and I stand with you.
Все, Курт, дружба, кореш теперь наш. Больше у него задания нет. Вроде бы как. Да. Вроде бы как нет. Что ж, а на этом мы закончим эту серию. Да, получилось немножечко переиграть ситуацию. Но, блин. Обычно я довольно редко переигрываю, но момент такой был, что, ну, ё-моё. Опять невнимательность, чисто невнимательность. Я проглядел вторую метку. Я бы так-то выбрал, естественно, пойти за Вильгельмом. Нормальный пацан. Что ж, всем спасибо тем, кто смотрел. Спасибо тем, кто еще будет смотреть. Я думаю, мы увидимся в следующих сериях по этой игре. Ну, набирает обороты, интересные персонажи, более интересные появились. Какие-то проблемки такие с вариативностью. Мне понравилось. Главное, что мы увидели, что реально можно его не пойти не спасать, и там будет уже, так сказать, по-другому вся ситуация обыграна. Что ж, всем спасибо, всем удачи, всем пока.